So this is a book by Klutz. It's a publisher that tends to make children's books with activities included. So there might be, clay or chenille stems or how to braid your hair, that kind of thing. This one is, of course, a Lego book. They've made a few different Lego books. This one's called Crazy Action Contraptions, and the book is from 2010. It comes with 112 parts, most of which are Technic. Aside from the Technic parts in this blister attached, which is a 2-part blister. The book, it's attached to a backing, which contains the book, which shows a bunch of different projects you can make.
We are going to build all of these models except for one, and we'll add one of our own design.
There's a set inventory. We used actually these inventory pages to find out the parts that were missing from this specific book and replenish them from our collection. And there's some tips here. The set does not come with a brick separator, so there's actually instructions on how to separate pieces, some notes in a typical irreverent Klutz writing style about how not to do it, and then other tips on how to align axles a specific distance and so on. All right, so we followed the instructions. This model is just a 25-to-1 gear up with a crank handle and some pulleys as an attachment. And so it appears to work quite well, actually. This next model is fairly simple. It's a 40-tooth gear and a spring-loaded ratchet. These same model is used in some party noisemakers, and that's literally what this is. So this model is a scissors linkage. It uses every beam in the box. Not all of them are the same length, so you can see this one overhangs, and they had to build their own beams here for the handles. So extends. Use it to grab things, but of course you can't bring it back. So this is basically a wind-up toy, a solid axle and a dragging mechanism. So I'm just going to go around, it says a few dozen times. This is probably more than enough given the size of this table. And then this, when I let go, will just run away. Like that. So this is basically a triple pendulum driven by a 5-to-1 gear up, and so you're just supposed to run back and forth and enjoy the chaotic motion of the pen at the end. Who needs Jackson Pollock? It's a fairly trivial model, and it's basically just how not to separate pieces. But if you push down here and those 3 studs suddenly come off, so this isn't a wind-up car or a pullback car. It's actually just a big spring, this rubber band getting stretched around the corner there. And so you push back and then you let go quickly and the thing will roll forward. So there's a step here that'd be really fiddly. I don't think Lego would have you do anything like this, but you have to get this rubber band to go around that. And intriguingly, this set has bushings of different colors. So around that red one, then, nope, see that popped out. Which one is this to go there? Then it needs to go behind all of this, around that bushing, and then come around this shaft and catch on this one on the same red bushing. So this one is a wind-up car. The previous version of the book did not come with these tires, so their wind-up car really worked a lot worse. And crank, and let it go. This is just another wind-up mechanism. There's a rubber band that gets wound up, a 15-to-1 gear up, and then this 24-tooth gear turns a top, which is just a 40-tooth gear on an axle. So that will spin the top, and when it spins up very fast, you're supposed to push this to launch it out of there, and it will spin around. There's some games here. We've built the dice because this doesn't work the way you might expect. You don't throw it and count how many holes you see. Instead, you're supposed to put a bunch of pins into it. And then shake that and count how many pins fall loose. This is basically an escapement type mechanism that uses a tetherball looking hole to keep this from unwinding so fast. So I'm gonna let go here and let it go around. Their credit, they do advise taping this down so the mechanism doesn't spin around like that.
The final model is our own design, trying to push the limits of what we can do with these parts. We built a spirograph, which consists of a rotating turntable geared to a arm which swings in a certain motion. Now, as the turntable turns and the arm swings, you get this flower/spiral pattern. Since the gear ratio between the arm and the turntable is 1:25, you'll always get a 25 petaled thing with this particular configuration. Now we can change the geometry of the arms and the gear ratio of the mechanism to draw different patterns. In this case, the 3:25 is not a whole number, so we need to go around a couple times before it comes back to the start.
Oh, it's not centered somehow.
Oh, it's not staying on. Oh.